maybe we do. We do. We do.
It's like, I don't know where this is going.
We do. I'm like, I couldn't do the bit anymore because I'm like, you just threw out I wish, and that's not how anybody wishes in these movies.
No, it never happens.
Do you wish we had some taglines?
And they're like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Ah!
We do have some taglines. Ready?
Some?
Just one.
Yeah.
Evil has been summoned again.
Okay, but like no one ever directly summons him. Like they're not like, where is he?
Yeah, nobody
it's just
rubs
like,
the lamp.
Ah, poop. God, I got in a shootout around a statue and this thing fell out of it. Gotta deal with that now.
Should I do it in the voice? Oh, no. Okay, here we go. With a $2.5 million budget and no reported budget, no reported gross. I wish there was a gross.
Now you're just
This
going
movie
to, oh my
was
God.
gross. Yeah.
Just give it up. You're going to hurt your voice.
Welcome to WishMaster. That's how I want to do mine the whole time.
Welcome to WishMaster. Payments only a pack and it goes directly to my lungs. Thank you.
What do you want me to do? He said freeze. That's how I'm going to do it the whole
That's so
time
stupid.
now.
I hate it.
With a $2.5 million budget, 3 people killed by gunshot, 1 fetus genie, 1 reverse birth transformation, 1 frozen man, 1 man forced through cell bars, 1 man fucking himself to death, 1 kickboxing to death, 1 face swap, 1 man turned into Jesus, 1 multi-blade roulette, 4 deaths by playing card paper cuts, 1 spontaneous body combustion, and 1 defecation of coins. With a 5.1 on IMDb at 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 1999's WishMaster 2, Evil Never Dies. Let's drop some bombs.
Now they've gotta face me. Your Uncle Sam. So let me in the fucking house!
Jason, Mother is talking to you!
How would you like to curl up with a good book?
In your dreams!
Make your wishes.
I did it! I took the Lindbergh, baby! I am Joseph Mingala!
Welcome to Bombs Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth and the funny yelp of bad movies. Still gonna keep doing it. I am Jonathan Young. Joining me inside the studio, as always, is...
I'm what's for Jenner. Jared Seifert.
And those of you who have never listened to the first Wishmaster 1 episode or never seen any of these movies, that was lost on you completely. You're like,
movie.
Jenner? Is he
fine,
talking
everything-
about
yeah.
Bruce Jenner?
No, Degener.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm a degenerate when it comes to my jokes. Is that registering? Do people actually like that?
This is our first follow-up episode to a previous episode.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've done previous, like, sequels, but
Yeah.
usually they just fall in line right one after the other.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
50 Shades.
Damn it!
I was like, you're wrong, I'm right, I remember because it's sexy.
Fine. No, you're right. Yes. 50 Shades is the one.
Gosh.
Okay.
So good.
Well, either way, as we're getting into our second year here on the podcast, we decided that we wanted to do sequels to things that we had previously done, such as Chud 2, Bud the Chud is coming up, Slumber Party Massacre 3. I know, right? 50 Shades Freed will be in Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people are waiting for that one with bated breath.
Today, I was watching that new Netflix show, the new Matt Groening one, and the episode was titled Castle Party Massacre.
Okay.
Something like that. It was a play on the Slumber Party Massacre.
And I totally
And I was
appreciate
like,
it.
I was like, okay, people actually still fully remember what this is.
So this is currently episode 71, right?
Yeah.
And for those who listened to last week's episode, let's just get it out of the way. We did it, guys. We did a live episode.
Live one, right?
And you can hear more about the live episode, how it went, things like that. We're gonna hash it all out on our Shorties episode that should come out in a day or two after this. So if you're listening to this on day one, or you're listening to this after, I don't know, Tuesday the 28th.
The time.
Yeah.
Something.
If you're listening to this, more than likely the Shorties has come out, unless it's like day one. So we're going to talk all about it, but if you are listening to this, you don't get a chance to listen to Shorties, thank you for your support. Anybody who was there, what a great time. I know I had a lot of fun.
What a country.
What a country?
Yeah. It was what's his name's slogan.
Mm.
Was it Yakov Smirnoff? What a country.
What are you talking about?
Never mind, you don't get it.
No, I don't. But what I do get is that this was a lot of fun. This is a huge success.
Yeah.
And stay tuned, guys. There's going to be more. Let's put it that way. Okay? So going into this episode... Oh, by the way, if you didn't get a chance to attend the live episode, that is last week's episode. Episode 70, Miami Connection. And if you have not seen Miami Connection, you can check out our YouTube. And we have the whole film for you up there now on our YouTube channel. So, haha, suckers who bought the movie. It's up there, including this. WishMaster 2 is going to be at least on our Facebook channel.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to try to get it on our YouTube. So if you want to know what we're talking about on this episode, we're trying our best to get these movies out to you. We're starting something new as well. Facebook watch parties. Okay? I don't know. It's not going to be a dedicated day. It's not going to be like every Friday because sometimes we work, right?
Sometimes.
But I will announce this ahead of time, so make sure you're following us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and we will at least announce, hopefully 24 hours ahead of time, or maybe at least the morning of, when we get a chance to do a Facebook watch party. And that will give you the opportunity to join in on a group chat as we rip kind of like Mystery Science Theatering, just in a chat room.
Right.
Okay? And we're going to pick the movies that we're going to be doing for the current month. So usually the week of that we're going to record an episode, we'll do that movie on our watch party. And if you chime in, you participate, you have a lot of fun, your joke might get featured on the show.
Yeah.
Not saying we're stealing it. We'll give you credit. I'm just saying sometimes you guys as listeners have good jokes. So
better than mine.
So we want to make sure that you guys feel a part of this. Like, without you guys out there listening, we wouldn't have a show. I mean, I guess we would. We just wouldn't have any listeners.
Yeah. I was like, we would still have one. It's just kind of there.
Right. So let's get into this week's movie.
Okay.
Okay. This is the follow-up to Wes Craven's movie. Yeah, like I was gonna try to praise it more, but like, come on, like the first one is crazy.
Yeah,
this one's equally as crazy, just not as compelling. And
it's less like they were like, how do we do more stuff this time around, but not steal something that already happened in the first one? And it's like, okay, we'll do this, but
why
it's
don't
all
we
kind of
make
like,
it that our heroine is probably on heroin and just not actually redeemable or likable at all.
It was just kind of like, it was all backs. You know what? While I was watching it, especially in certain scenes, I was like, these scenes all sound like they all sound like the start intro to a porno scene, or the beginning scene to a porno.
On.
Because it was
Go
like,
on.
well, when, oh shoot, now I can't remember what scene it is that really stuck out for me. I don't know. Just imagine each scene is the starting of a porno, especially because like they're in a prison.
Well,
they're at a casino.
this movie starts out as if I feel like I accidentally sat on the remote, and we're actually at the end when two lovers are trying to make their getaway, and somebody gets shot, and he's like, I always loved you. And you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
By the way, before we jump into this movie, if you are interested in the WishMaster series as a whole and you want to check out our WishMaster 1 episode, that's episode 23. If you scroll down into the feed, definitely check that out. It's kind of one of our favorites.
Definitely check it out.
So that's why we're doing the sequel so close to, because we should have waited for Halloween for this one, because that's when the last one fell, and we were like, no, we're doing it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, this movie just starts out as if it's like the end of the movie, and he's like, I love you.
Well, it starts out with an art heist. They're stealing art and stuff. Someone's like, wow, I want the Holy Grail, and punches a hole in this glass cabinet, and then the alarm goes off, and it's like, you were so careful about like stealing. Ugh. I can't talk. Sorry.
Well, you know, Corey Haim had a problem, and he could get anything his hands could get on.
But so it's also just kind of like I never understood art heists.
Wait, people are not gonna understand that joke unless I explain it.
Oh, okay.
They're like, why did you just say Corey Haim? Like, Corey Haim is actually one of the burglars in disguise for this.
He's the or at the time he was the boyfriend of Morgana, who is our main chick.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
in real life they were dating?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but my thing is like, who actually does art heists anymore?
Hudson Hawk, that's like, about it.
Or like how do art heists work? Like, who do you sell to that?
I don't know. Who do you sell to that is going to take and purchase a picture that is literally cut out with like a Bowie knife out of the frame?
But also, like, you can steal jewels and stuff and like rework that or redo that. There's nothing that's going to be like
known as a jewel heist.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like with money or with jewels or with like precious metals, you can redo all that stuff. So it's like usable elsewhere, but not directly like, oh, those are exactly those, unless someone like burnt their initials into it. But with art, it's like, oh, that's the original. How did you get that? Oh, well, I bought it illegally.
Right.
Like, it seems so easy to track everything down.
No, I mean,
it just seems.
Would you think it would be easy art, even in '99? I think so.
I mean, maybe.
But then also that like that Thomas Crown affair came out around the same time with Pierce Brosnan, and that seemed like they were getting away with it all.
Was that the super insane art heist movie that was based off a true story?
Probably. I don't remember much of it other than it was like him and damn it,
an affair.
But no, it's The Haunting, Michael Douglas's wife. Three names.
Eleanor?
Not Eleanor, the other one.
The hot chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because she kind of disappeared after the 2000s. Because people were like, that's weird that you're dating him, and all of our boners went away. You're right. All of our boners went away, and he had mouth cancer.
So
that's actually not him. That's his father.
So this guy, one of their friends punches the glass and sets off the alarm in the museum, and then one person that's within all the heist people, like the guards start coming in and shooting and stuff, and then there's like one guy that's like, "Stay back! Get out of here! We gotta go!" Like he's like screeching, and I'm like, God, like there's
a lot of
cops
screeching
and the guns, like
yeah.
Just come on, guys! Like, I hated it. Yeah, and then
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
And then I imagine, because of how the first movie was, I just imagine that like where the first movie ends, like, I wish Patrick O'Reilly wasn't drinking on the job. I just know that they gave him an Irish name and like assumed he was drinking on the job, which he was. But like, and that like reset everything. And I thought for this one it was gonna be like, I wish museum heists were never invented. I was like, God, what stupid cop-out are they going to use? This one actually did have a little bit better of an ending, I thought, than the last one. I thought this
Because
ending,
they did research.
Yeah, exactly. They actually tried, instead of just like wishing away one of the steps at the start, which just did seem pretty cheap on the first film's part.
Yeah.
So then, like, the jewel, like, the statue gets shot, the jewel falls out of the statue and breaks in two, but, like, someone grabs it or something. I don't remember.
She grabs it and then drops it, or it burns her hand.
Yeah.
Right?
And then,
So, like, and that's one of my biggest problems with this film is that it...
she
series.
put it in her pocket. She picked it up and put it in her pocket.
And then
a guard
she's like,
comes in and shoots her. But the jewel deflects the shot.
Right.
And she's like, I'm okay. But then the guard, so she got shot in one room. They walked away, and she was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, the jewel stopped it. But then another guard walks in and is like, hey, don't do that. And then shoots her boyfriend, and he goes down. But then she picks up a gun and shoots the security guard and kills the security guard.
Right.
Right? So then there's the whole, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, don't die, wah, wah. And he's like, you gotta go, babe. And she's like, I don't want to go. And he's like, you gotta go. So then...
Doesn't this feel like the end of a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then...
Nope, it's the opening scene.
Yeah, so then she leaves, but then the Djinn comes out of the jewel, which if you don't know, he's a Djinn. He's like
a Djinn.
Yeah, D-J-I-N-N, I
He's
believe.
a degenerate.
Degenerate, yeah. So then...
Folks, this is going to happen the whole time. You better just get used to it.
Fun. But so then he... Sorry, I just almost said he has Degener, just because I just keep thinking about the Djinn.
Rolling through the streets, smoking Indo, singing on the gin and juice.
Sipping on Djinn. So stupid.
Where my mind on my wishes on my mind. Yes!
So
I love it when I actually break it, like your eyes are just like, I can't handle it.
He comes out of the crystal and splatters on the wall.
Okay, this is so weird.
Why didn't he just like manifest out of the crystal?
Why
did he have to like be birthed from a wall?
Well, okay, but
and
he
come
doesn't
out
even
looking like Mike Wazowski with two eyes, like a
Well, no, wait.
Monsters Inc. character.
First, okay, so she runs, and the boyfriend is just lying there like bleeding out, right?
Yeah,
and that's So he spews out like kind of like a blood stream.
he comes out.
Right? Multiple streams that are now collecting in a puddle, like, against the wall. And then his face is in the puddle, like, hey. Even this could be a good look for me. But he's like, I can help you. And I'm like, immediately, if I was the guy, I'd be like, I don't think you can. Like, you're just a puddle with a face on the wall. But then, yeah, he manifests into, like you said, Mike Wazowski.
He does. It's really sad.
And then immediately he's like, wish your pain away. Basically the same thing as the first guy in the first movie. Very close.
The guy is like, fuck you, man. And then he's like, what?
Everybody's way too calm about this whole, like, he's the Wishmaster. Like, almost everybody, nobody has a reaction as they should. Everybody's like, they say you're the Wishmaster. All right.
Right. So then he's like, I wish I had never been born.
Oh, this one.
Which is weird, because it's like, I wish he wasn't drinking on the job.
And
it's like, that one affected the past, but never being born didn't affect the past. So it's like, what?
Right. Because if he was never you already did it. I was gonna spring it later. I was literally because I thought that this was going to be the like. I thought like her final wish was gonna be like, I wish you would have pointed out the plot hole in the beginning of the movie. Because if he was never born, that means they never met and they never went on this robbery heist, and we're good here.
But instead, his face just shakes violently, and he slowly goes backwards, and then it just reveals...
I thought his mom was going to show up, and just like he's going to get sucked back into the womb. Like,
I thought it was going to pan out, and like on his on like his clothing that was there was just going to be like a cum-soaked sock and a tampon that was used.
His dad's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just pops
Just
in
a
the
cum
room.
stain with the
Where did I even
tampon
come
laying
from?
on top of it. It's like, oh gosh, weird.
Yeah, no, but it bothered me immediately because I was like, so end of movie, right? Like, and that, hence all the way up to that point, I still was like, did I hit the remote? Like, did I like fast forward? Is that it?
Oops, I started
Like,
the ending.
we're good. But nope, it keeps going.
More cops show up, or
right.
a cop shows up, and
He's like, freeze!
and the guy's like, so our Djinn, our Wishmaster, is like, oh, you want me to freeze? And then freezes the cop, which I was like, still not a wish. You can't do that, I thought, according to the rules.
Right.
I don't know what, like, just
No,
use
he
your
makes the
powers.
rules up as he goes, right?
Yeah.
But
As he smiles and never blinks.
oh my god, the shit-eating grin. Like, he has... All right, remember when, like, the Grinch in the cartoon gets an idea?
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's like, and he got a wonderfully awful, awful idea, right? And his, like, hair curls and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's that grin through the whole movie.
Oh, it's a real stupid look.
What?
And, like, even whenever it's in, like, bad situations, and it's like, maybe don't grin like that. And it's like, It's like a kid that's like, I know something you don't know. Because he does. He knows what the prophecy is. Yeah, so that cop gets frozen, and then the other cops show up, and he does get arrested, and he goes to jail, and he takes the fall for it. I don't know why I can't talk today.
I don't know why. This is another situation in which
Why I'm still here?
Yeah, you need to write jokes.
Oh, but the guy that froze, I accidentally swallowed a menthol cough drop the other day while rushing to the bathroom, and that's probably what it felt like for him. Because I was like, it's cold inside, and every time I burp, it's like ice breath. It's really creepy.
Wasn't
I just
there
forgot,
like
sorry.
wasn't there like a mint or something that like a commercial where somebody like popped in their mouth and they're just blowing cold air? Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I don't
wasn't
know what it
Mentos.
was, but-
I was gonna sing the
yeah.
Mentos one, but that's not it.
All I could think of was five gum.
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah,
that was.
I think that might have been one of them. Anyway,
Chew it. Put it on your tape.
so yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why he takes the fall for it.
Yeah.
Other than to be like so that okay, this movie. We're gonna skip around a little bit, I guess, because like it some things just don't make any sense.
Well, he goes
I'm
to
trying to
jail.
explain it, right? He goes to jail. He admits to shooting the security guards.
Yeah.
Right. There's no other because he made the guy never be born. I can't talk no good. I guess he made the guy never be born.
I took it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
But so there's no additional not victim. There's no additional perpetrator,
yeah,
right?
it
It's
was
just him. Right.
And
So-
then, oh my god, it's
What?
pissed me off so much.
oh, the
Where's
guy.
the missing art?
Okay.
It was in a goddamn duffel bag. Sorry, I'm getting so angry, and I know this is in the future, but like for several days, they're like, we still haven't found the art that you stole, but we know you did the heist because you killed people and you admitted to it.
Right.
But then one like throwaway scene, it shows a security guard in this museum, and he's like, "Oh shit, a duffel bag," and like pulls art out of it, and is like, "Hey guys,
No.
Found it.
That was when she's cleansing herself. She returned it. That was during the cleansing montage.
I didn't even see her return it. I thought it was literally like, oh shit,
she
that's
didn't
what that
return it.
duffel
It was
bag
just
is?
implied.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it
During
was
the
implied.
cleanse.
No,
Yeah. it's
during her.
it's just a
cleansing.
juicing cleanse.
Yeah, it's a weird cleanse. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he went to jail because he was like, that's where a lot of people are going to be, and they're all going to wish to be out.
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to take a lot of souls that way.
Oh, I thought he went to jail
AKA
because
200.
I
Can you
thought he
believe-
went to jail because the detective's just like, son of a bitch,
Yeah.
you motherfucker, like he's just yelling, listen, you. He used the
Yeah.
F word. This
He's
movie used the F word like
very aggressive.
3 times,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about fuck.
I know.
Yeah,
The British
the
cigarette
nougat
word
of
yeah.
F. I don't know.
I don't like saying it. I don't like even.
That'd
when
be
gay people
fugit,
say it. They're
actually.
like, oh, I'm
But-
just a. And I'm like, oh god. Come on.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, they use it 3 times in this film, like
Yeah.
and hard too. So, yeah, but that's the detective is just like, you son of a bitch! You're just playing games with me? Fucking playing games? God damn it! Right? And the whole time, this is another thing, because, like, if you say that he wants to go to jail so that he can start collecting souls from the desperate that are in jail, right? Why does he seem like he's trying to get out of it by getting the guy to wish? Or is it just because he's like, I'm talking to a guy, might as well try to collect the soul?
Yeah, I would assume that one. So then, hello, back.
Hi.
So what I like is he starts talking about this prophecy, which I don't remember there being a prophecy in the first one. Did they not, like, fully
I think
fill
they
it
just
in?
didn't refer to it as the prophecy. They just, like, were like, here's the plot.
Yeah. So then, where are we? Oh, did you catch this whenever the guy is yelling at him and he's like, do you want injection?
Oh, yeah, because it's, like, lethal injection.
I know, but I was like, you don't
Who
get
just refers to it
Yeah.
as that?
I was like,
How about just the
what?
death sentence?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you say the death penalty.
Yeah, this movie has different weird turns of phrases that make you, like, overthink what they just said instead of just moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, I don't get it.
Right? So, meanwhile, our main girl, her name is Morgana, which is a horrible name.
It was so
Right?
stupid.
She's,
Slap her across the face.
So Morgana is our main girl, but I don't really understand, what's it called? It's one, she looks like a Lori Petty ripoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who Lori Petty is, right?
Vaguely. Sounds familiar.
Tank Girl, the main girl in Point Break. She's also in Orange is the New Black.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks. This is a movie where her and then the casino owner are both knockoff of looking like other people. But yeah, there's Lori Petty nowadays. Anybody who wants to look up Lori Petty. But
she was the voice of Patty Mayonnaise, wasn't she?
yes.
Yeah. I love Lori
I think
Petty.
we've talked about Lori Petty before. League of Their Own and Free Willy as well. She was like kind of the main girls in those. But yeah. So I think this girl that's playing Morgana, who the actress name is escaping me at the moment. It's Holly Fields. Okay, so Holly Fields, I think, looks just like her in this role.
Yeah,
like very young, especially Point Break. Lori Petty.
Yeah, very true.
Right, and she's really upset that her boyfriend is dead. And did you notice her coffee table? It was just bicycle wheels?
Well, like, that's the whole thing with her apartment. It's that weird kind of, like, late 90s, like, trash vibe, I guess we'll call it.
Right.
Or, like, minimal trash.
Just, yeah,
decorations,
where she's
where
probably
were her
doing
kitchen
some weird...
cabinets?
Yeah, she's
She
probably
didn't
doing
have
some
any?
weird canvas art in the other room.
Yeah.
While, like, I'm only happy when it rains is just playing. You know?
Exactly.
It's exactly like
Yeah.
that, you know?
And she's got, like, metal siding that's just kind of, like, this weird, like, just chair runner going across the entire apartment. It goes through the kitchen,
city
but it's
is this?
also through the bathroom. This is L.A.
This is supposed to be L.A.?
I'm almost
Okay,
positive
because
there
she
were palm
lives
trees.
in that iconic I got a freight elevator loft situation.
I know.
You know,
It's-
where does this happen?
I hate that in movies.
I love it. I wanted it. I've wanted it ever since Jeff Goldblum lived in one in The Fly. It's the best, right? But that doesn't really
Well,
happen.
they only
or
picked that-
Tom Hanks in Big. That's
they-
a good one.
They only had that apartment for Jeff Goldblum in that, because they had to make a decision, on the fly.
I'm just shutting this shit down. Show's over.
I know. We done. Yeah.
People are
and
like,
so
I'm really glad I didn't go to this
Yeah.
live show.
the Djinn already gets sent to prison. Like, his trial is half a second. It happens the same day.
Did you
I
see-
guess? Because, like, he already has, like, a courtroom painting of him. Like,
Which looks awful. It
It's
looks like
terrible.
Leonard Nimoy.
I know. I was like, this is bad. And he's already in prison.
Somebody fire that sketch artist.
But, like, the Djinn also talks to people like, oh, well, I have an IQ of 150, and if you actually knew things, then you like. He sounds like there's a subreddit called I am very smart.
Yeah.
And it's just screenshots of people online that are like, well, I actually am like this, and I'm super, and like you can easily tell like you're not that smart. You're just a 14-year-old that got super defensive on the internet and decided to lie about your smarts.
So it's somebody we used to know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
I was an airline pilot.
Yeah.
And
this is also around the
we
time.
really need to stop doing like jokes like this.
Don't call him.
We did it during the live show where we're like, we're like, yeah, Alex, you know, and it's like nobody else. There's 80 people here, and only Alex knows what we're talking
and yet
about.
you still keep going with it.
Yep.
So then, this is also when we find out that Morgana is having like spiritual experiences whenever a wish is being conducted.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's also getting the feeling of it. So she's asleep in the bed and she's writhing around. And this is
while he's in like a holding cell.
Yeah, and it's pushing the guy through this bar cells because the guy's like, I'd love to escape or walk
like kind
right
of like
through these bars.
He's kind of crazy homeless, and then the crazy homeless goes away to like a dominant alpha male.
Yeah.
Like halfway through the scene, first he's like, "Don't touch me, you son of a bitch! You preppy golf son of a bitch!" And then that changes to like, "I'm gonna fuck you up," right? But like all like composed now. Yeah. As soon as he's like, "What do you wish?" And he's like, "You're a genie." Oh, like we've got ourselves a fucking genie here, right? And you're like, what?
I wish I could walk right out of those bars.
Walk right through those bars.
There it is.
Yep.
And then so
because
he doesn't
everything's
walk...
got to be very literal.
Yeah, but he doesn't even like walk through the bars. He pushes his head through the bars and goes head first, and then kind of collapses.
This is all right. So I feel like
I would have liked it more if it just kind of like shoved his body and it was like.
I feel like
the bars just cut through him
before the Djinns figured out what their purpose in life was. They were doing like Carrot Top stand-up Vegas acts, where
that's
like,
why he goes to the casino later.
Man, I just wish I could walk through those bars, and then he makes somebody, and people are like, "Bravo! Oh my god!"
It'd be really good.
Yeah.
Right.
And magic.
So after this, then we get introduced to the faith aspect. So
which
Morgana,
is super heavy in this one.
She goes to the church and she's like, "Hey, well, the first one was all about knowledge and universities,
right?
So this one is all about faith and spirituality.
Okay.
The next one's probably going to be about like shopping in malls.
Yeah.
Which, if there's a mall in the next one, I'm going to be like, oh, shit.
Well, it is called WishMaster 3 Beyond the Gates of Hell. So
so we are in a
So
mall.
Sears.
Yeah. So then,
what a wasteland.
Yeah. Why do I feel like there's a joke about Wasteland?
I feel like Wasteland Weekend?
No, I think I'm just... The way you said, what a wasteland, I think I just thought... No, ma'am, no. What a wasteland. You said it very Mark Wahlberg-esque.
Oh, okay.
What a wasteland.
I think I was thinking of like Blockbuster's slogan, "What a difference." Remember that? Wow,
didn't work
what
there.
a difference.
No.
Blockbuster
That's all you.
radio. No? God damn
That's
it. The dog would tear the ticket in his mouth. It was all a cartoon. Nothing?
Nothing.
Somebody
So-
out there
okay.
knows what
They
I'm talking
will.
about.
Everyone will. But so
No.
yeah, she goes to the church and there's very obviously like, you can't be here. She's like, but we tried fucking and then you couldn't get it up, so you became a pastor. And he's like, I'm a priest. Like she says like pastor and he's like, actually priest. I spent 2 years at Montessori school.
2 years at Montessori school, 4 years touching boys. There's an entire thing you got to go through.
Come on.
Like
I've
pastors,
been doing this for a while.
pastors just judge and shame you. I go through the entire
like-
thing.
Oh, Mr. Stevenson? It's Dr. Stevenson. Like, shut up.
PhD.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got a doctorate.
You're a
Mike.
dentist. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
You're not a doctor.
DDS.
So this is also when we get our lovely tatted up random guy that they're like, hey, you got a lot of tattoos, you can play a prisoner. It's like, oh, ouch.
Yep.
It's pretty mean. And he's like, oh, you can grant wishes? And he's like, yeah.
Okay,
like, man, I wish
so
that guy
before
would
he
go
walks
fuck
up,
himself.
before he walks up, him and another prisoner are just throwing in exposition about their characters, being like, yo, yeah, so like this one time I was like banging my wife's like sister, and then she was like, not so much anymore, I'm gonna get you for rape, here for 5 years, what you got? Right? And they're like comparing prison sentences. He's like, yeah, like I was like robbing a grocery store, and it just keeps going on, and you're like, is this gonna mean anything? And it only means a thing for one person. But who is sitting around in their prison being like, all right, I got you one better.
This is why I'm in. It's like, that's your first
Also,
day
I don't
story,
know
and
why
you
they're
never
from
talk
New
about
York
it.
when they're like clearly stereotypical ethnic LA residents.
Yeah. I was like, what?
I didn't want to do it. Because my accent
That's
is actually
terrible.
more racist than theirs actually is.
Man.
So,
So then we actually do see his lawyer fucking himself.
okay,
Which-
yeah. So basically,
on
we skipped it.
muscles.
Hold on.
What?
We skipped it. So,
Oh, yeah.
he's in jail now, the Djinn, and which he's going by the name of Nathaniel Demarest throughout the whole movie.
How do you get a full-on name
Somebody wished it.
and a
Like-
like a social security number? Like, how does he?
They're like,
exist
yo,
in the
what's your
prison system?
name? Do you wish that you knew my name? Yeah, I do.
Nathaniel Demarest. That's pretty convincing? And they're like, yeah, what's your social security number? Do you wish you knew my social security number?
Too bad, I already have your soul from the name. Thanks, bye.
Can someone else finish the paperwork?
I'm good. Looks like there's about 20 lines to fill out. I'm going to need 20 people, please.
Yeah.
Why does my now I'm like 20 people? Thank you. Yeah, one soul. So yeah, he's like, do you wish you could get back at your lawyer? He's like, yeah. He heard him say like, man, I wish my lawyer would just go fuck himself, right? And he's like, do you wish your lawyer would fuck himself? And he's like, man, be real. He's like, I'm always real.
I'm always here.
Right?
Shadows.
And sometimes sometimes at the Bellagio on Saturdays. But okay, he's clearly now like Russian. My accent just keeps changing.
It's bad. It's real bad. So yeah, we see the lawyer like. Basically, it looks like his hips turn around and then he starts fucking himself.
I was looking
but, like,
forward to this, and it's awful.
It's really
instead,
bad.
it's like not good. I wish like the lawyer would have just literally like walked into the room again,
Yeah.
like next to the other lawyer, and just literally grab himself by the throat and be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm fucking you."
Yeah.
That would have been
Or
way
at
better.
least, like-
and then literally the lawyer just fucks himself. Like if they hired like twins to
Like,
do the role.
Flip the
That'd been
table
awesome.
and like just start sitting on the table leg and fucking himself, and he's like, "Oh, what am I doing?" Like,
Anything would have been better
Yeah.
than like he's like, oh god, like he's got to shit himself, right? Which so many people are like got stomach cramp shitting sequences in this, and then his legs start like folding backwards, which we can all kind of like get that pose that, like a little bit. You can reach back and grab your legs, right? Like you can actually get into this position until a certain point, right?
Yeah, I was just letting you explain it just to see how far you'd go to like make yourself sound super creepy. Yeah, but his like legs turn like a full like.
You can lay on
360.
your stomach.
Yeah, I know you can do that, but his
Yeah.
legs like also like the feet face the opposite
They're
direction.
perpendicular
Yeah.
to the rest of his body. Like they're side by side. But then
It looks like it's like the legs. It's not like it looks like his full hips turned around. Which,
okay,
like, wouldn't
so
get
I don't understand.
There's
like,
no
so-
access to his butthole.
So did he like? Yeah, did he cut himself in half? Right. Well, this is what's weird because So let's still describe the thing for people, like what we did see, and then explain why it doesn't work, right? So you see the legs, and basically they're like the feet, which are pointing backwards,
like towards
not backwards,
the back of his head.
Right? No, they're pointing at first behind him, right? Yeah. As if you were laying on your stomach and you somehow got into like a full U, right? And your feet are pointing like not
away from
you. Thank you. And then both feet rotate 180 degrees as if like the entire feet and torso rotated, and then now they're pointing towards his head, and it's as if like an upside down man is fucking him.
It's a good position whenever there's another person.
But what doesn't make sense is that like what rotated to be now dick facing that way still needs to go in something.
Yeah, I know. It confused the hell out of me.
It would have been more to be like if he was just like, oh, and the guy's like, yo, what's going on? And he's like, my dick is going like
in
up my butthole. Like, and what if he like just kind of like, I don't know, circled into infinity? Just
whoa. Yeah.
Right? Another person disappeared.
Yeah. And he's gone.
Right? Anything like that. Or just be like, just in his chair being like, what's happening? My own dick's going in my butthole. You know?
If they made it just kind of like a funny, sexy scene.
Anything. Yeah. Honestly. This was not
And then that's
good.
kind of the end of that.
Yeah, nobody that's another thing. All these things keep happening, and nobody's really questioning it. So we haven't really established. Tiny Lester's back on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Tiny Lester from No Holds Bars. He was Zeus. Was that good?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
The whole movie.
Yeah. He's our security guard.
But Tiny Lester's back as he's the main kind of the main guard who may or may not have homosexual tendencies in this film. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought
because he's like, I'd like to slow dance with you, Compton style.
And I was like,
there's a long pause.
I get it after Compton style, but I was like, maybe he really wants to slow
or
dance.
both.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, he says way more in this film than he did in No Holds Barred, but still, he's. Oh, there's a line in here somewhere where he calls him ugly, and I'm like, Tiny.
Oh, it's coming up.
Tiny.
Don't worry. But so after the lawyer scene, we flash over to Morgana in her apartment, and she's using web zap services in order to look up the Djinn and all that research and stuff. But then someone comes to her apartment and rings her
school bell.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like
I thought that she was in a school library.
And I was like, oh, and I thought it was one of those things where it was like the noise for the next scene plays in the previous scene to like carry you over, and I was like, oh, she's.
There's an
going
actual
to school
term for
next.
that. I totally forgot. Like I just heard it recently too. It's like there's an actual term.
What is
for...
the term?
I said there is, and I forgot it.
Oh, don't bring it up.
I'm sorry, but like there is. It's an actual listener. Somebody who went to the Miami Connection show was talking about how, as bad as the filmmaking was, there was still like
Sound
points
sequencing.
There was exactly what you're talking about of that where it like moved over. So like somebody knew what they were doing sometimes when it came to editing and stuff and that. No, I thought you're right. Like it was just she found out what she needed to find out, and that was the school bell, and then she was going to be at school or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's the bell that rings for her apartment. Her doorbell, or one could make the argument that she is in a loft with a delivery elevator as her access point. It's kind of the like, elevator call. Yeah. Right? Hey, you didn't close the door, so the elevator didn't come back down.
But this is also when she looks like a kindergartner that dressed herself and cut her own hair and was like, and I like braids. And like put those in randomly. Like she looks like shit.
She's awful.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a human being, like earlier when she's crying about her boyfriend, she's like, why? And I'm like, because you are a thief.
That scene was me, like, 2 seconds after someone's like, hey, it's been one date, but I'm not feeling it. I'm like, okay.
Why?
She's really upset, but he did die, so.
Yeah. Okay. So, after this... She has been getting haunting visions, did we discuss? Yeah, we discussed the priest. Right, his name's Eric, right? Is that right?
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she keeps going to him, and she's like, you don't understand. You don't understand. Do you believe in the devil? And he's like, I'm a fucking priest.
Yeah.
Like, he's really like, come on. Like, but instead he answers, he goes, I believe in God.
I know. I was like, you stupid idiot.
Right? He's like, yeah, so go ahead and logically piece that together, and we'll move on. And then, so she's like, I keep seeing him, and I got to figure out, because, like, this is where she pretty much admits for the second time. She's like, I murdered a man, and there's a man who took the rap for it, so I got to go visit him.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing, is she didn't say this in a, like, confessional booth, right? And so this guy is pretty much, in the whole film, aiding and abetting a murderer.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, does she kind of get away with it? I think she does.
At the end, she's not a murderer. That's the twist.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Right?
But this is also when she's talking about,
there's
like,
bonus things for the Djinn sometimes, you know? Like,
she's talking about the statue that was holding the gym, and she's like, it's a Hora Mazda. It's the
I think we've done that one
I know.
prior, but
like, oh damn. But the Ahura Mazda, which is just a mean way to talk about your car.
yeah, I was gonna go there myself. That was good. And so she's like, oh, I'm gonna go see him, and then she takes what looks like a prison bus up to the prison. I didn't know they were just giving free rides for visitors.
Yeah.
Up on to the prison. But she does that, and she meets him, and he's like, fulfill the prophecy. And she's like, what's the prophecy? He's like, you'll find out. And it's like, well, why are you whispering in her sleep, like, fulfill the prophecy?
Yeah.
Like, I'd like you to do it, but you gotta kind of figure it out on your own.
Do this.
Right?
What?
But it's
sorry.
but it's also like, why even reach out to her of fulfill the prophecy when, like, you've got like 1,001 souls to take care
you've
of
got
first?
work to do,
He's got a lot of
Get
work
with
to do. That doesn't seem like that was the issue in the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, so refresher, guys. The first one was like, I'm the Djinn, and I've got to basically, I don't know, suck enough souls. Wait a minute, that sounded bad. I gotta suck enough souls to pay rent. No, I gotta take enough souls in order to just have enough power to then do the 3 wishes deal on her.
Yeah, and then with that, he can release the community of Djinns.
Right, because that's his goal. His goal
But
is
also, how fucking pissed would you be if you're another Djinn and you're like, we picked this guy and he keeps messing up for 4 films straight.
all he wants to do is fucking jokes. Couldn't he just
God.
Couldn't he just appear as like a blue guy and be like, you ain't never had a friend like me?
Nathaniel, get the souls and let's go. Stop playing.
Wah wah wah. Like that would work way better. Right? We're inside LA.
And then, so we then get the purity scene, her trying to get back to her purification.
Okay, yeah. So basically, she goes back to Eric, and Eric's like, he does more research, and this is where he's like, look,
He's on
here's the
board at
deal.
this point.
Yeah, because he goes to see Nathaniel as well, and he's like, and Nathaniel's just straight up like, hey, I can change my voice, and I can sound like the girl that I know you want to bone, but you can't.
You
and
want
she's
me
like,
to do it?
yeah, could you take me?
You hungry?
Take me, Eric. Take me like one of you schoolgirls. It's not exactly what he does, but I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
close.
He doesn't do schoolgirls.
Yeah, you're right.
Schoolboys.
Oh, yeah. Take me like one of your choir boys.
Gross.
Right? He's like, no! Right? And then he goes back, he's like, I've seen the devil. And, like, meanwhile, every single time he's referred to as the devil, he's like, I'm not the fucking devil.
It's like, I'm a genie.
He's like, again with this bullshit.
Genie.
God, get your demon straight. But I'm that was a weird line, or somewhere in there, he's like, get your demon straight. I'm like, wait, you're a genie, not a demon.
Right?
Like, get your plot straight.
So yeah, she does her purity. She takes.
Well, that's
out her
what I was
nose
saying. So
ring.
Eric explains via the research that he needs to collect 1,001 souls. I don't know, for every Arabian night, I guess, and because also the Djinns are from Peru or not Peru,
Saudi Arabia.
I don't know, but
somewhere in the Middle East.
Persia. Yeah, right.
Persian.
It's a P word. Peru, whatever. So yes, they're from Persia. So like the Arabian Nights joke kind of works, you know. And but he also explains that after he gets 1,001 souls, he needs the person who released him to be granted their 3 wishes, and once their 3 wishes from that specific person is taken care of, the rest of the Djinns can be released from their slumber and can inherit the earth. And I'm like, and then do what? Like, entertain at parties? Like,
they shall the Djinns shall inherit.
Oh.
Because it's such a good, but such a short song from that show.
Right? You're gonna get what's coming to you.
Right? Thank you. Okay, I'm glad you understand. If you
I love
don't
that.
know it, too
It
bad.
might be one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Right.
I always wanted to be Seymour.
What is...
Like, in high school, I wanted that play. And they were like, we're a big school with a big choral ensemble, and a
I
lot of
hated
parents who spend a lot of money would be quite upset if we did something with 5 cast members.
We tried to do Chicago, and they were like, too raunchy.
Is it, though?
Not really.
Well, I mean, everything's like... You got to be paying attention to the lyrics to find out what even happened in the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
I
says...
had it coming!
He says something along the lines
We're very musical this episode for no reason.
Sing song. I wished it. So yeah, he says,
Wish Bombs Away was more of a musical podcast.
He says that like someone has to say the special incantation, and someone that's pure of heart needs to hold the jewel.
Thanks for getting us back.
Yeah. And she's like, I guess I gotta purify myself and take out my nose ring and take a shower and then remove my
So I guess the
makeup.
woman from the first movie didn't have like that research or something.
Yeah, she just
whatever.
Wow.
She had to get real crafty with the wishes. This one's just like I can say 3 like Latin words or Persian words or something and we're good.
So
yeah,
then,
but that's her definition of pure is like I'm gonna take off all my rave makeup.
basically everything she was, and then
Right?
she even had pure clothing. Like her clothing style was even completely different. She's
Yes.
like, now I wear long sleeves and I don't show my belly button.
Right? And this is where
My ankles are for my suitors only.
she returns the art
Yeah.
in this montage,
In a duffel
cuts
bag.
her hair, wipes off all her makeup, takes off all her piercings, stops
And then
wearing midriffs.
Does a very interesting meal for dinner. She's like, okay, I'm really hungry, but I only want a little snack, so I'm just gonna have a little pinky of my pinky. And
What
she
was
chops it
that?
off.
What was that? It's not in the rest of the movie. There's nothing that says like
she constantly has her hand like gloved up
for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because the rest
did,
of the movie
did
takes
the
place
actress
like, over a
cut
day.
herself? And they were like, now we got to make this scene go because we've got like 3 days left on this loft before they come in and they start filming something else. Yeah, she cuts her pinky. And what a sign of purity? Like
Right.
what?
I don't know. Do purity rings go on your pinky? No, they
Because
go
then
on
she
your
also
ring
goes
finger.
to church and is like at the
This
altar
is
to
when
get
it looked like a
blessed.
porno, because she's like in a church alone, like at the altar, like, and he walks up behind her and he's like, "Hey, babe," and I was
Yeah.
like, "They gonna fuck," and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Right. So then this is also though, at some point somewhere they have broken out of jail with his Russian friend that is sometimes Italian.
Okay, so there's a couple things that we need to go over, just scenes just for fun, because like they are the rundown scenes. Like so
Oh yeah.
the genie has been granting the prisoners in the prison all their wishes, right? Starting with the first guy who was like, I wish my lord would fuck himself. And then basically being like, did you like your wish? Then go ahead and tell your friends, right? He's doing like a huge marketing campaign.
Tell your friends, make a wish.
Yeah. And they're telling everybody, I mean, like, yo, this guy, like, he is the WishMaster. Like, he also branding himself actually the WishMaster. They're like, yo, are you the WishMaster? And he's like, I am the WishMaster. And you're like, oh, okay. All right. I didn't know we were using the title very literally this time around.
We're using code names?
Yes, and evil never dies.
Oh, we're using our made-up names.
Yeah.
That's
So there's a guy who clearly wants to sleep with Nathaniel in the prison.
Yeah.
Big buff guy, right? And he like keeps slapping him on the cheek and be like, I'm gonna get that ass. Right? And here's what I thought was funny is like, what if everybody kind of figured out and be like, yo, don't like the genie guy, he does some weird shit. He tries to turn it around on you. Just like, don't fall for it, right? And then like the genie could never break out because nobody will play his game. So he's just like spends eternity getting raped by prisoners, like constantly. No, like please, just wish it to end.
Well, someone would slip up at some point.
Wish it to end, please.
Damn, I wish you were tighter.
Oh no!
And he's like, I'll be tighter on your dick, and then it just clomps the dick off.
That'd be good, and then nobody would do this anymore, right?
Yeah. See, there's always a way.
Yo, I wish you dropped the soap. I'll drop it on your face.
So yeah, this guy that constantly slaps him around and has two twin karate friends.
They just kickbox him to death.
Well, he's like, I wish I would get beat down sometime. And it's like, why would you ever say that? And then he just gets kicked by. He doesn't die though. He just gets kicked a bunch, and then the security guard's like, stop it.
Well, because he's like, yeah, I wish you would give me the stomping of a lifetime or something like that. Like the kicking, stomping, brutally beating of a lifetime. And I'm like,
could have done something with that.
But you also already know, like, you had to have heard the rumor that this is the WishMaster and shit's coming true. And you actually, out of all the people, actually said, I wish. I'm like, you kind of doubled down on that.
He should have died, but he didn't.
Oh, that he didn't die?
He didn't.
I thought he got. So. I thought he was laying there bloody and dead.
I thought he was still standing.
Right? And then Tiny Lester shows up and he's like, why is it every time that I come around and bad stuff happens, there you are, Nathaniel? And he's like, wait a minute.
That was the Hogan voice.
Brother.
You're like, why is it that every time? Like, oh God, okay. Don't do voices anymore. Throwing it all off. And then, then our next scene with Lucky.
I'm due a wish, brother.
With Tiny. Tiny's complaining and is like, I'm seeing a lot of shit around. Like, weird stuff is happening, more contraband, like, more people, like fighting
a guy
and stuff.
Fucking himself.
And then he's like, I wish. He's like, you must have a wish. And he's like, I don't wish anything. And he's like, you should have a wish. Like, just convincing everyone to say the word wish. And it always happens with, like, the people that it's like, I'm too stubborn to make a wish. And then, like, they keep doing it. It happens multiple times in this film. Mm-hmm. But with Tiny, keep wanting to call him Lucky. With Tiny's like, you know what? He's like, I wish I could slow dance with you. Compton style. Awkward pause. Because I was like, so they're going to dance in the yard? What?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're in a different room? Where did they go?
They just flashed over to a different room. Because he said, slow dance alone with you, Compton style. And so that I think the room is the alone part. Right? And then, there was a lot of homosexual overtones. Mm-hmm. Not even undertones. No, it's overtones.
Overtones. It's all gay.
And then the scene just flashes over like something bad happened. And meanwhile, there is a Russian gangster who's also in jail. Who?
I want to call him a gangster.
Yeah, well,
he's irritating, and I hate this.
Russian mafia, basically, and he partners up with him and is like, "We're gonna break out together." And he's like, "All right, fine." Like, it doesn't in a movie where you're like, "Yeah, you just wish it were good," right? He this movie's different because he's actually granting the wishes. He's not always making a joke out of it like he did in the first one.
And not everyone's always dying with every wish.
Right. Some people are literally like, okay, I got my wish. And like, we're good, And it's so that other people trust him and don't, I guess, be like, don't fucking talk to that dude.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, the Russian's like, okay, I wish the door was open. And they're like, we'll walk right out. And then it doesn't even show him, like, leaving the prison. Like, all of a sudden...
No, the door just opens and there's a prison guard by that gate
Like, right
who doesn't
there.
respond.
Yeah.
Just stands there.
So then...
But then again, this is a Wish movie. Maybe he was just like, I also need him to be blind.
So they, Morgana talks to Eric, and she's like, he broke out this morning, like, it'll be on the news. He had an accomplice, but who was it? I don't know, but it'll be on a newspaper. And they, like, run outside, just open a newspaper box, and they're like, there it is. It's this Russian guy. And then Eric, he's like, oh, I know him. He killed 2 guys in my parish.
Yeah.
She was like, I wish we knew where he hung out. And he's like, he hung out on a bar down on 43rd called Joe's. Like, knew the exact place. And I was like, that's not good detective work. That's good writing. That's bad writing.
Yeah, it's bad writing.
Bad writing, not good writing. It's convenient writing. Bad convenient writing. So then, like...
What else do you know about him? I don't know because they didn't finish the scene.
Yeah.
But let's go and find out together.
And the Djinn is then shown at this bar with the Russian, and the Russian's like, everyone make wish, you make anything happen. Hey, you guys don't beat me up. Blah. Like, just this drunk, obnoxious, like, people leave. I don't it's really
it's
stupid
dumb.
Scene. And
it's kind of pointless, too, because, like, he doesn't mean anything to the rest of this plot.
And then, so, well, he does just barely. But
Only
this
in the
next part,
sense... Okay, so... He means something only in the sense of, like, he's got a boss above him, right? And this boss...
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. That's stupid.
Right.
He just has the information of, like... Well, he doesn't even have the information of where to go. He just passes on information to Morgana.
Right.
But this scene where basically his mob boss...
His mob boss shows up, and he doesn't fall for the WishMaster's wishes, and
until he accidentally
walks
says
away.
something.
And basically, the Russian guy who is his friend... already got his wish when they broke out, but he wants more. So, and I don't know why he's still hanging around with him.
Yeah.
Other than being like, oh, you can lead me to other desperate dumbasses. Like, right?
He's got nowhere to go.
I guess. But, so the Russian guy wants to take over the mafia boss's head seat, as the crime family. And so... I don't know, he gets him to say something very specific that I'm like, how did you get it that specific?
Well, he's like, remember that guy? What if he came back? And he's like,
right.
I wish I never...
I wish I had his head.
Yeah.
I wish I had his head. That's a very specific phrase for that to actually have panned out the way he exactly wanted it to be.
People.
Yeah, but like...
I wish I had his head.
How about I wish he was dead. Or literally anything, like, because he was just saying a turn of phrase.
That doesn't make the movie creative.
Yeah, but the fact that he planned it, he was like, no, wait, don't go anywhere, Wishmaster. I got this. It's good. And he sets that whole thing up, like, knowing he would say that, because immediately he goes into action being like, look, it's the guy, get him.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then he becomes the head of the crime family. But then What's-Her-Face shows up just with a gun, which, she already had the gun for the beginning of the movie, I forgot. But she just shows up and is just like, boom, shoots the Wishmaster. And he's just like, yeah, anyway.
He bleeds worms, whites the bullet hole away,
What does
and
he
then
bleed
eats the
worms?
worms. I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there's a lot of visual things in here that don't add up, right? Because I thought he was made of, like, red mush from the opening scene. And then they explain that you can't kill him, and then the Russian guy knows her basically backstory, and now he's against the genie, and is like, we should kill her, and shoots her. And that never comes back as to why she doesn't die.
Because she was connected to the stone, because she awoken the Djinn. And so the Djinn has, like, a protective power over her.
I thought he only had power. See, this is that thing where it's like we're just making up shit as we go. Because I thought he only had power when somebody made a wish. But apparently he can also be like,
I don't know.
Let me show you something. Let me take you into this Horror Nights maze.
Well,
you know?
he did also say like I can give you a wish for free just to prove that wishes are real.
Which has also just been like, okay, now we're just
Yeah.
making shit up on the fly. Like, that's not how this works.
Wow.
You know? So, yeah, that's what happens.
They go home, and then the Djinn vanishes, and they're like, we don't know where he is. But then they get a call from what sounds like the Russian guy, but it's actually the Djinn being like, I know where they are. I'll buy you 2 tickets to fly to Vegas, I guess.
I don't know.
Which the Djinn should really be a voice actor, because he can do anything.
Including magic. Because this is the scene.
God, it's so stupid.
Okay, this is great. All right. So, the Djinn has shown up in Vegas, I guess. Let's just call it Vegas. It's a casino. It's like, I don't know. It kind of more looks like a ballroom than anything. Like somebody set up a charity casino event.
Well, they said for this, they were like, because it was filmed in the summer, and so they had a hard time finding Christmas lights when they were building the casino. And I was like, cool fun fact. Let me tell you, like 2 more.
The people that
there
care.
aren't anything interesting with this. It's
right.
Stupid.
So this is also where he meets, and I can't seem to find the actor's name, but he meets knockoff Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right. It's not Dave Chappelle. It's just another actor that
He does look very much like Dave Chappelle.
Oh, very much like Dave Chappelle. And you would think that IMDb here would, like, he's definitely been in other things. Where is his picture to really help me along here? Come on, you're failing, IMDb. You're failing so hard right now. Is it just me? No, I don't see it.
What was the guy's name?
I don't remember because he's not very memorable. Oh, there it is. Okay, so
Woodbine.
Bokeem
he was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes, he is the Shocker in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. And as he's gotten older, he doesn't look as much as Dave Chappelle as he does in this. But yeah, that's him. Yeah, I forgot. He's in The Rock as well. He's Sergeant Crisp in The Rock. And he's also in Riddick, like the 3rd Chronicles of Riddick movie. And a whole bunch of stuff like that. Total Recall remake. It goes on and on. You can look him up, but it's Bokeem Woodbine on IMDb. He to me looks like knockoff Dave Chappelle. And so he's this casino owner, and he's immediately friends for no reason explained with the Djinn.
Well, it said that, or the Djinn said that he was there trying to open up like an eastern branch, and so they're like, "Well, this is our western branch."
So Atlantic City.
I guess.
I'm trying to open a eastern branch of Vegas. It's you might have heard of it. It's called Atlantic City.
They're like, "We know."
So he then just gets an office.
Yeah, he just has an office with a like very ominous large skull.
Cattle skull with like giant horns that like kind of seem like the devil, but we also have established via the Djinn that like I'm not anything with religion. Like that's crazy. I don't know who wrote those scenes because that's not me.
It's not religious because of this 3-5 second scene where it like zooms in on him and he like does a hand motion.
This is great.
This
is amazing.
Shows up and then he does another hand motion and it vanishes and he just goes magic. And it was like, who was
to
he
the
doing
camera
that scene for?
That's what I
just
said.
Looking at the camera, going magic.
That scene looks like that looks like the teaser trailer, right? That you would see on like a VHS, right? Where like so the camera like it's a red a red uplit room and the camera zooms in. He's sitting at the desk and yeah, like the cattle horns are kind of behind him and it does the whole thing in magic, right? And then he just like stares down the camera and the camera holds on it and then it cuts to the next scene and that's where you'd be like you'd usually see the title card like WishMaster 2 coming to VHS 1993. Like coming to a store near you. Like that's what it would be, like magic. And you'd be like, oh shit, Wishmaster's back. Let's not rent that.
Yeah.
And so moving on.
Well, from here on out, our Djinn is in Djinn form, and he's super buff. Do you think he works out in the crystal, or do you think he just like wished that by?
I think he just wished for it. Yep.
Man, that makes me mad. I hate when people just look good.
Do you wish that you could hear "Pump Up the Jam" at all times?
So while he was first doing his tour,
thanks for just skipping that because that sucks.
I know. I was like, okay. I really love it skipping things. But so while he was touring with Knockoff Dave Chappelle was like, yeah, I wish all of our what does he say? I wish all of our customers had good luck. Or something like that.
Something like that.
And so, like, the casino starts, like, winning and winning and winning, and everyone's winning and winning and winning. And then it shows Dave Chappelle talking to the security guard at the casino, and he's like, I don't know, sir. It's crazy. Everyone's winning. And he's like, this is insane. And then the Djinn's like, time to collect my payment. And starts sucking souls back into his jewel.
Mm-hmm.
And so people at the prison start vanishing. It shows all of the side characters, like
it's basically
Russian
anybody
people.
you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it literally goes through person by person instead of being like, we get it.
And somehow that was 1,001 souls.
No, I don't think so.
Right? Because I knew we got about 200 in the prison. And he said he was like up to 200. He was like, I need 800 more when they were like on their last day. And I was like, okay, you need 800 more. So you're telling me between 200 in the prison and then later on, as you're like, oh my God, I don't know what happened, but 200 people just died in this casino, right? You're like, all right, that's 400, right? You telling me that there were 600 Russians in that club?
Right?
Because I didn't see him interact with any other entities.
Yeah.
Like, why did we make it such a high number? Why 1,001?
Yeah, I just like one of my favorite parts when he was like sucking out souls is it's going down like the corridor of the prison. And it's like, and then you just hear like a little girl scream, and I was like, is a prisoner holding like a little girl inside of him? What?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay.
And
then,
so Morgana and Eric show up to his office. And there's like, I have my souls now, make your wishes. And she's like, no.
She does the whole like trying to wish he was never there, or like wish him away, and he keeps being like, not how it works.
Did you not see the first movie?
And then she's like, I wish you weren't here, and he transports all of them away, and then puts Eric on a crucifix, shirtless, and he looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, this is where he's just like a Christ figure on a crucifix. And he's being tortured by the Djinn.
Yeah.
And once again, did not know that he could just pull off things without the wishes.
Yeah.
Because there's so many times where he's just like in the first one where he's frustrated that somebody won't say the exact thing that would get him in the room. Like, remember that one where he's like, do you wish I was in the room? And he's like, I don't give a shit where you go. And he's like, no, I need to get in the room. This doesn't happen. He just starts making shit up. To whatever, and so he tortures him, and she's like, I wish you would stop torturing him. And I'm like, all right.
Was his name actually Eric?
Was it?
I don't know, because my notes say Jesus. Gregory has a body.
Gregory, that's right. I thought so.
But my notes also
so
could have
who's
just read
Eric?
it. Jesus Gregory.
No, you're right. It was Gregory.
Was Eric her first boyfriend?
Oh. Did we mess up? I don't see a Gregory on this list, though.
Paul Johansson.
Oh, boo on us.
Oh, we just went with the first man name and was like, yeah, that's him.
So who the hell was Eric in this movie? What's that face? That might have been the boyfriend. That might have been the boyfriend.
Okay.
Damn.
Whoops.
So they...
So,
what was this list in, like, order of appearance?
Siri, go back and change all of our recording from Eric to Gregory.
Do you wish to...
Do you... And it's like, shit, no, don't respond to her.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is an order of appearance.
Dude, that's irritating.
That is.
So, Jesus Gregory Jesus.
It was Gregory.
He goes down. He's done. And we get with it. Then
That was wish number 1. I wish you'd stop torturing him.
yeah.
So I'd be like, all right, good. Now I'm gonna just keep doing
Now
it
he's just
for a
dead.
third wish.
So
you know?
then the entire casino just goes on lockdown, and everything starts killing everyone.
Somebody says something. I wish this hell would end.
Oh, he's talking to the casino owner, and he's like, "Are you happy with your wish? Everyone got lucky." And he's like, "I just wish this hell would end, or this nightmare would end, or something like that."
I think he says hell.
Oh, okay, sure. I was like, I'll go with it.
Whatever.
And then,
but so he makes a new version, a new hell that's worse than the last one.
and it like all the security things close. The roulette wheel starts like spinning super fast.
It's
and,
this roulette wheel,
like sniping people. It's
It-
like choo 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 choo.
with the balls. I didn't know roulette wheels had multiple balls at the
Just
exact same
stored
time
inside
going.
Of it, yeah.
They're like, all right, place your bets, place your bets. It's gonna land on red, black, red, and black.
Yeah. And then it turns into a really terrifying
It just sprouts.
semi-truck wheel.
Okay, so it
Like one of
flies
those
out.
things?
It flies like a spinning saucer disc, and then like a hubcap on like James Bond's car. It just has blades.
Yeah.
And starts just slashing people's like legs and like no.
The car dealing machine.
That's my
starts, like,
favorite.
shooting cards out. Except it's shooting cards out like
Right.
and it's like they're just
but
kinda
when they're
falling
hitting
out.
people, it's like,
But it's like,
pew, 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 pew.
like slicing into him. Like,
Right.
one of the dealers
then-
explodes cards from his belly.
Yeah, because he stands in front of the shooting card machine, and then it just like, because he tries to, I guess, block it from the 3 people that have already gotten
Yeah.
their like face slashed. Like this a movie like Gambit would be like, yes.
Oh, also,
X-Men joke.
At one point, the casino owner, he's like, "What's next? A plague of frogs and locusts?" And then
That's not a wish.
frogs show
That's
up,
a question.
and locusts show up. But I love the locusts are like shitty graphics from like 1999. All of it is. And then they're like, "What do locusts look like?" We're like, "We don't know. Glue some cockroaches just to his face.
They
and
are-
have him eat them."
They are somehow worse than the Beatles from The
It's
Mummy
so
with
bad,
Brendan
yeah.
Fraser.
It's a good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, but those Beatles are horrible.
So then,
yeah, and he melts away. Dave Chappelle melts away from the locusts. They eat him
Yeah.
to death. And frogs don't do anything to anybody. They just hop around.
Yeah.
They're real frogs on
frogs
the
are
scene.
just like, "Please don't step on me."
And then
Morgana is like pure of heart, and that's her epiphany. And she realizes that she needs to wish that she never killed the security guard because murder makes you unpure.
I
I
mean,
guess.
right?
Which I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So she unwishes it. It shows a black and white scene of like the reunion of the security guard coming home and being like, "Hello, family. We're
I've
all
been-
friends.
I've
Hello."
been gone for a week.
Yeah.
I have a lot of explaining
And everyone's
to do.
just like, "Hey, what's up?" The wife isn't even like, "Oh my god." She's like, "Hi."
Right. As if he just came home that night.
And
I
then
guess.
she holds out the crystal and says the whole like nib sugar off boheme, which I was like, that sounds terrible. I don't know if those are actual words, but they sound dumb.
That was. I think you got it right. Did you
I
write
did.
it down?
I wrote
Oh,
it
okay.
down.
Yeah.
And so she starts sucking him into the jewel, which I was like, "Uh-oh, not magic anymore." Thump. And
Yeah, this is weird because he's like getting like there's an image as a blue because he's like pretty much red skinned, and there's a
Well,
blue
but first, like,
hologrammy looking image of
all
him.
of the souls are leaving him and not
Right.
leaving the jewel,
Right.
which I was like,
Which I saw this in like Nightmare 4.
yeah, but I was like, what? Why are they also showed every soul going back into every person?
Right.
And it was like, okay, we know
But
that
some
the
of them
souls
were
are
dead,
leaving and going back.
weren't
I
they?
know. Some are like really dead.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so she's getting this like fan effect on her, and this is when she looks the best because she doesn't have her stupid bangs; they're like side swept. And I was like, that's how she should have looked the whole film.
And then she just says the
Yeah,
incantation
Greg,
over and
not
over again.
Eric comes back to life.
Yeah.
And then
Which I didn't really know he died. I just thought he was being tortured in
Yeah,
the weird
same.
gem world. And
with the holograms.
yeah.
Uh,
Truly outrageous.
I am me.
The Djinns are truly outrageous.
I was listening to that soundtrack the other day, and I was like,
damn
God,
it.
I love this music.
God damn it.
It's so good. Yeah, and then we the camera starts zooming in on the Djinn in his jewel, and
this is the end, the very last scene.
yeah,
It's
and
best.
the Djinn turns to the camera and is like, oh, get out of here, stop it, and it kind of does hand motions to him get away, and the camera's like, ooh, oh, sorry.
Who said you could film in here?
And credits roll, end scene,
End scene.
end movie.
End movie.
I still liked it. I can't wait for 3 and 4.
You can't wait for 3 and 4?
Yeah.
So I wanted to establish a new rating system.
Always evolving.
Right, but this is fun. It's fun. So
Oh no, there's a whole bag.
there's a whole
involved.
bag. Okay, so I was at up in Burbank, right? A place, a new place that I think people should go to. Right, it sells CDs and records and cassette tapes and also VHS. It's called Jackknife Records.
Cool.
Okay, it's on Glendale Boulevard in Los Angeles. If you get to check
Cute
that out,
little,
right? It's
business
cassettes.
card.
Then they actually punch the holes in the cassette where you would put the tape
pencil
heads.
to just.
Yeah, the pencil. There you go. So Jackknife Records sells VHS as well, and I happened to go in there the other day. And I just couldn't resist it. I know that I would never do 2 of the 4 of these movies, but all 4, Cheryl would really like this. All 4 of these films were there, and I was like, I can't break up the kids. So what I have
Aw.
here is Jaws 1 through 4.
Oh.
Right?
God, the graphic got so bad at 3.
Yeah. Well, because Jaws 3 is actually Jaws 3D. It was actually 3D in
right.
in the 80s, right? You can see I love the artwork for 1 and 2 is badass, right?
Oh, there was a murdered girl that was an extra in Jaws, and they're still trying to figure out who murdered her.
Oh, really?
Because she's also unidentified. They don't know her identity either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
So
crazy.
here's how the rating system works, right? We all know that Jaws, right, is so many people's top list of all time.
It's basically Jaws 1 through 4, right?
Right. And then 2, right? So Jaws, great, right? I don't think a movie on this. Well, maybe my connection could be Jaws because that movie is great.
I just want to say that I think you thought up this system through your own lens of experiences, because I've never seen past 1.
That's fine. I'm just saying this is until we get to another
You're just
box
asking me
set.
to 1 through 4 it.
Right? Yeah.
It's got 2
Right.
stars, 3
Right.
stars.
And
I don't
Jaws
know.
2 is actually
You're just
okay.
picking movies.
Jaws
to,
2 is okay, right? Right? It's got Roy Schneider. It's okay, right? It's a decent follow-up. Jaws 3 is that's just where it got rough, okay? Dennis Quaid's in this movie. Jaws attacks a SeaWorld, which, I mean, I'd be okay with now.
Oh.
But and a bunch of dolphins defeat Jaws in this one.
Oh.
I like how I call it as if it's only one Jaws and he just keeps coming back, right? But this one is considered where it got weird and a bit rough, right? But it's still enjoyable,
Rough waters.
right? And then you got Jaws the Revenge, right? And we're going to do Jaws the Revenge, I promise you. Maybe Jaws 3, but definitely Jaws the Revenge. This is where Michael Caine, historically, while he was filming this movie, right? And he refused to go and accept his Oscar to go film this piece of shit.
Oh, no,
So he's
Michael
never gotten
Caine.
an Oscar since, and he regrets it to this day. Jaws
Yeah.
the Revenge is where Jaws, they take a trip to the Bahamas from Amityville Island, right? And he follows them because he's got a score to settle from all the other 3 Jawses dying. This is where a shark actually has the mental capacity to take revenge on the family that's been taking him out, or at least his family members.
God.
I can't wait for we might do this one live one day, but
Good.
this is like Jaws the Revenge. It's fucking horrible. I hated it. So, at least on today's rating scale, until I make up a whole nother box set for you to do.
I'll say it's a Jaws 2.
You say it's a Jaws 2?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, it's enjoyable. The end is enjoyable. This casino scene, because we didn't mention that there's a woman that shits coins.
Oh yeah.
We totally forgot about that. I forgot what her wish is. Something like
She doesn't wish anything. She's just playing crabs.
Yeah, she goes, I wish I didn't. Did you wish you crapped out or something? And then she just craps coins like bling 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 bling. Right?
Well,
There's
first
great
she, like,
things like
expands,
that.
And then she's like, and she's like, oh, thank God.
There's so many people that are got, like I said, stomach problems.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's that. There's the guy right before that who just implodes for no reason.
Yeah, well,
or not explodes, kind of.
Well, he
but
just
not
opens up. Literally.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I couldn't find a way to because he's
He,
not
like, turns
imploding.
inside out
but he's
after
not
playing a slot
because
machine.
exploding would be like fast and spontaneous, right?
He's
like
just
combustion.
literally opening up.
Yeah, I just
It was
Yep.
weird.
So I wouldn't say it's Jaws 2 for me, honestly. It's more Jaws 3, where it's
Okay.
like 1 was actually like I enjoyed 1. You've actually had. We usually don't watch films together, and you've actually twice now. I've been like procrastinating on WishMaster series, and you're always walking into the studio here when I'm watching it. So you've actually gotten the chance to actually have me experience films that you've known. You've known WishMaster for a long time,
Yeah.
right? And so you've heard me being like, "What the hell is happening?" I was not as enjoyable through this one
Yeah.
as it was like the first movie that opens up crazy
Oh,
and
it's
never
insane,
stops
yeah.
being crazy. And it has Robert Englund. It has, Kane Hodder and it's so many horror icons and directed by Wes Craven. There's a lot going on for how bad that movie is.
It's a good one.
Right? This one is like it's Jaws 3. It's like you didn't need to go there.
Yeah.
You didn't need to make a sequel, and if you did, this wasn't the story because the characters are completely irredeemable. Like, is that a good word? Irredeemable in that one? They're not
Maybe.
redeemable
Yeah.
at all. Like, you're a murderer. I'm sorry. Even if you wished it away, like somewhere in your head, like you've got both sets of memories
Yeah.
now, you know? And I just thought while the wishes and the effects and the gore were fun, it was a very pointless sequel for me. So, Jaws 3D.
Well, I don't think some other people felt the same.
I don't think so either. And those people we ask to give us 5. So, our first review on Gimme 5 today goes like this. Written by Dave, just Dave, January of 2000. Titled, Many People Didn't Like This Movie. Goes on the right, Many people didn't like this movie due to the low budget and hardly any big actors. But I was entertained by this film, and Andrew Divoff had me laughing through the whole thing. He plays the Djinn.
Mm-hmm.
Even his smirk and his lines crack me up, no matter how ordinary his lines are. Okay, you just negated yourself. It's just the tone he delivers his speech. I just hope Divoff returns for a third installment if offered. So this was written, actually, I guess when the movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dave was pleasantly happy with this next one, I
He
guess.
was like, all right.
So, next one is written by The Realm Keeper. Also in January of 2000. Well,
Oh.
spot on like probably like this was released on VHS and somebody was like, I gotta go on IMDb.
They
So-
need to know.
Yeah. And they need to know in his title that says, a sequel that surpasses the original. I was skeptical when I rented this movie since I watched the first Wishmaster, and it wasn't all that good. Beside the cameos from Friday the 13th, Kane Hodder, and A Nightmare on Elm Street's Robert Englund, and the gore, the original was a disappointment. But the second one did me in. I loved it. I think that the problem with the original is that it tried too hard to be scary, and that it was a theatrical release. The problem was that it was a theatrical release. Know your
Always the
audience.
issue, yeah.
Come on, Wes. Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies proves that a sequel doesn't have to suck like so many say. Is that the rule? A sequel has to suck? For it to be good, it's gotta
Take it
suck.
up.
The special effects in this movie are spectacular, especially in the final scene. If you want a good movie to give you a scare and a great plot line too, then rent this direct-to-video wonder. Remember, this one will change what you think about sequels and direct-to-video movies. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Will it?
Well,
Will it change what you think about sequels?
no, it'll still be like, well, it wasn't the first one.
Yeah. And which is usually the response for almost all sequels,
Yeah.
good or bad. Yeah. And the last one is written by head of programming. I guess like IMDb just chimed in. Right? Written July 2004, so about 4 years after it came out. Titled Awesome Movie. This movie rocked for a horror film. We weren't looking for an Oscar winner movie. These movies bore me to death. Wait.
This is the one that I just like copied because I was like, oh, he started off strong, and I don't know what the rest of the review is going to say.
We weren't looking for an Oscar winner movie. Those movies bore me to death. Why is it any movie where people have accents and the movie goes on a snail pace win Oscars? We want a good, fun movie that would make us laugh and keep us awake. This did it. Good acting despite the writing. Holly Fields is hot. Slamming body. She looks like a Liv Tyler mixed with Angelina Jolie. Love her strong, kick-ass legs. I remember her legs being featured in this movie. Maybe when she's like asleep in bed. I would have liked to see more nudity on her parts.
He's just horny. He's like, I gotta let someone know that I had a boner for him.
Maybe a few fight scenes where she goes after the bad guys. What other bad guys?
What movie did he watch?
I would like it if she just like got naked and fought a bunch of dudes that don't exist as possible.
Is he reviewing a different movie of hers on this movies?
I don't even know that she was in other movies. The priest thing was weird, but he did a good job too. I think he's on One Tree Hill. All the actors in this seem to be doing good stuff now, so the director did a good job hiring them. Fun movie. 9 out of 10.
Even though it was 10 out of 10
Yeah.
on the... I hate when they do that, because
Love
one
it.
of them earlier that I was looking at said, like, 10 out of 10 review, and then at the bottom is like, 1.5 out of is how they ended it. And I was like, what is that? What?
So before we wrap up today, I know this one has been content heavy and it's great actually. You very rarely get a review from the director himself years later.
I read this and it's like, I'm 50-50.
Yeah. So writer-director Jack Sholder, in a documentary called Behind the Curtain Part 2 from 2012, said this about the film, quote, "That's one I have very mixed feelings about because there are parts of it that is really like, but I think, all in all, it's a little dumb. To tell you the truth, I haven't seen it since I made it. When I was making it, I thought it was good. I thought a lot of it was kind of funny or clever. I definitely feel it has merit. From what I gather, it's one of those films that divides people. Some people like it, some people don't. And, you know, it was also a sequel to a movie that I thought wasn't a good movie at all. It's a movie that I did, and I don't regret doing. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I think is pretty good from it. You know, like the scene from the casino. I thought it was pretty good. Maybe it comes off as being silly. Jack Sholder."
He's like, I don't know, I made a movie, but like, sometimes it's nice. Sometimes I just am like, whatever, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, did you see the casino? That was pretty cool, right? I mean, most of it was shit, but like, there's parts that weren't shit. But remember when that lady actually shit?
Shit.
Shit. So that just about does it for us here at Bombs Away. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, make sure you follow us on all social media. That's where you can watch WishMaster 2 Evil Never Dies. You can watch Cobra vs. Ninja. You can watch Miami Connection. And there's so many other films that I'm slowly curating into our YouTube or Facebook libraries. Said it wrong? Or are you just yawning?
I thought it was curating.
Yeah, you're right. Curating.
I'm just going to let it happen.
Yeah. But no, I am curating an entire library as much as possible that we can actually have for you guys to watch so that you can get these jokes and references. And like I said, we're going to be doing the watch party. So actually, the watch party for this would have already happened at this point because I'm going to do it tomorrow. So that makes no sense to them.
Cut that out?
Yeah, nope. But please subscribe so that you can get notifications. Make sure your post notifications for Bombs Away and Bombs Away's overnight Dropbox. That's our group forum where we discuss the movies. Make sure that the notifications are turned on for that, and you will be notified as soon as we make an announcement for a watch party. And you'll get an announcement when it's actually happening live, so that you don't miss it. That's the best way to make sure that you're staying for the extra content that we're trying to provide. We're trying to provide you with extra content without asking for your money on like a Patreon just yet, okay? Eventually this is going to turn into a full-time job for me, I feel like, so eventually I'm going to ask for your money. So, but that's only through the live show. So stay tuned for that next live show announcement. It will be coming up very shortly. And you can follow us social media, Bombs Away Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Write to us, contact@bombsawayshow.com if you have something that you wanted to say about this film, something we forgot, something that we messed up. I'm sure there was a bunch of you ready to write in being like, it's not Eric, it's Gregory, but we fixed it halfway through.
Caught it.
So, boom. Can't call us on that one, so try again. But please, write to us. We love hearing from you. We love hearing what your favorite episode is. We just got a message from somebody the other day and being like, I listen to you guys all the time. Do you remember me? I met you. And I was like, yeah. Which, sorry, like, it happens all the time. And I do remember this person after the fact. But, like, in the moment, I was like, right? It turns out that people actually do like talking to us a lot when these conventions happen that we go to, or when we post up in the lobby of the Frida, which we like to do a lot. So this person was like, I love it. I loved the Rage Carry 2. It's my favorite episode. And I do have to say it's one of my favorites that we've done recently. So we love hearing that kind of thing from you guys. So please keep writing to us. Let us know what your favorite ones are. Let us know where you're like, you didn't do so well on that one. And then I'll just write back, go fuck yourself. And no, I would not do that.
I would.
Cut that out. Cut that part out.
No.
Oh.
No.
No, that just about does it for us. Like I say every time, 3 times before I actually wrap it up.
Well, that just about does it for us.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with finally gonna get to Daigoro versus Goliath, hopefully, from 1972. We've had a couple hiccups with our guest. That's why you're hearing this before that, contrary to our Shorties episode. But it will come. It might not come next week either, but we're going to cross our fingers on that one.
We're trying.
We're trying to get that one out. I know you guys that were joining us in the watch party last week really enjoyed that one. And it is fun. And that one's up on our YouTube, and it's also on our Facebook right now. You can watch Daigoro versus Goliath and get ready for that one. That one is not to be missed, and make sure that you stay for the very last scene. It's an amazing thing that kind of wraps up the entire movie and how shitty it really is. So, little play on words there. That's it. I'm done. I'm done talking. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And Hey guys, John here from the Bonds Away podcast, and I'm here to talk to you about the place where we record. That's right, the Frida Cinema. What is the Frida Cinema? Well, it's a program of the Long Beach Cinematheque here in California, and it serves Santa Ana and neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. But it's so much more than that. Guys, not only do they screen amazing films here, but they also hold out-of-this-world special events. And when we're talking about special events, we're talking about shadow casting. Shadow casting, if you don't know, is where actors perform in front of the movie that you're seeing, and they have costumes, and they're doing audience participation, and it is just an amazing event. The shadow casting that we do here is films such as Rocky Horror, or Little Shop of Horrors, or Repo the Genetic Opera, or even The Forbidden Zone. Wow, The Forbidden Zone. Like, when's the last time you saw that? Or maybe shadow casting isn't your thing, but what about rooftop cinemas? That's right on our rooftop, we do special screenings of throwback movies that you love, including Ghostbusters, or the current Beauty and the Beast, Guardians of the Galaxy, or even Jurassic Park. And that's not the only thing with these rooftop cinemas. They also have special people that show up, special guests, including the Orange County Ghostbusters and their vehicles and their costumes, or maybe Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park Jeep. You ever gotten a photo with any of these things? I have, and it's because I was there at these events. So if you're looking for special events to go to, or like out of this world, just crazy audience participation things like Scott Pilgrim and with lights and sound and like things that you've never even seen before, go to the Frida Cinema. You can check out the Frida Cinema locations, filming, schedules, and everything entertainment-wise at www.thefridacinema.org. Or you can follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema, and on Instagram and Twitter at the Frida Cinema. The Frida Cinema, for the filmmakers, for the film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?